biomechanics.
I had the opportunity 2 years ago to work with Grandmaster Choi regarding his particular style of martial art. We at that time undertook a subjective study to determine differences between the Choi Kwang Do style and the more traditional style. At that time we found two major differences. The first difference, which created a superiority in the form of Grandmaster Choi's style, was the use of the body in the punch. By incorporating a step prior to the punch, body momentum was greatly increased, and therefore the force of the punch was greatly increased. The second major point, which created a more superior style for the Choi Kwang Do method, was the use of a greater follow-through. In other words, the hand continued to move after the punch, thereby creating greater force upon contact. We will undertake a study to determine the actual differences between the Choi Kwang Do method and the methods used in the more traditional techniques. By incorporating state-of-the-art technology, including high-speed video analysis and computer graphics, as well as force measuring platforms, we will be able to, in no uncertain terms, determine the actual differences between the two techniques.
He compared the findings of biomechanics, which explores the way that human bodies move and react, to the techniques applied in traditional martial arts.
As we watch this again in slow motion, pay close attention to every element of movement used by the body to properly develop the punch. This sequence of events, which involve the foot, the hips, the torso, and the shoulder, each preceded by the other, creates a stretch and release effect known as sequential movement. Along with shifting the body weight and the follow-through, it is involved in all Choi Kwang Do techniques. In developing Choi Kwang Do, Grandmaster Choi learned that Russian scientists had conducted tests on the nature of the energy produced by the various parts of the body when involved in punching. The study revealed that 12.24% should come from the arm extension movement, 37.42% from the trunk rotation, and an astounding 38.46% is involved in the leg push-off. For this reason, sequential movement is involved in all Choi Kwang Do techniques to produce maximum velocity and power. The traditional method of stopping the punch or pulling back immediately following impact is not practiced in Choi Kwang Do. These techniques not only limit power, but they can also become a source of hyperextension injuries.
He concluded that traditional martial art movements were picturesque, but they lacked understanding of natural and healthy human movement. Steeped in ancient teachings, they did not benefit from modern scientific advances.
Dr. Joseph Senebogen is a certified chiropractic sports physician and has researched the biomechanics involved in Choi Kwang Do.
I've had the opportunity to train under Grandmaster Choi, and I've had an opportunity to see the new techniques that he has incorporated into his martial art. The old traditional way of blocking crossed over the two bones in the forearm, which highly increased your chance of injury to the two bones in the forearm and also at the elbow joint. Master Choi's new technique allows these two bones to be running alongside each other, which greatly reduces the chance of injury to the bone and to the elbow joint. This reduction of injury will allow the student to progress at a greater rate and less chance of injury.
Less stress on you and more stress on your opponent. That's the essence of Choi Kwang Do. And it's obvious from those making the switch to Choi Kwang Do that this is the new image in martial arts.
Kwang Do came to the conclusion that martial arts need not hinder or damage the human body. A new form of martial arts was needed in order to retain the wisdom and discipline and beauty of martial arts, but still preserve, protect, and enhance the human body. Kwang Do would create this new form using his knowledge of Taekwondo and the science of biomechanics. He would use his own body as his laboratory, his own recovery as testing ground. He would design his own physical therapy by creating his own martial art method.
Dr. Lee Denoff is a doctor of chiropractic and has been involved in the martial arts since age 8.
It's been many years since I found an art such as Choi Kwang Do. I got involved in Choi Kwang Do due to the fact being that I was constantly injuring myself. In my profession, I'm constantly seeing people who totally destroy their ligaments and their joints. I finally found a technique in Choi Kwang Do that relieves that joint pressure. Taekwondo has a constant stress and strain on a joint. Wing Chun, same type of effect on the joints. Choi Kwang Do, totally relaxation, total fluidity, totally aerobic. It is the technique of the future.
For nearly 10 years, he labored countless hours in research, analysis, and exercise. He looked at both physical and psychological aspects of anatomical movement. He learned conclusively that the body has the natural ability to heal as long as it has the right kind of support. Movements that he had learned in traditional martial arts were tense and artificial in nature. They interrupted the body's natural distribution of energy and inertia. The human body was not equipped to adapt to these rapid, unnatural, and hyperextensive movements. When the body cannot adapt, it breaks down. This is what happened to many people who practice traditional martial arts for an extended length of time. Injury rates were quite high when compared with other sports. Kwang Do believed that if a form of exercise respected and supported the organic movements of the body, then these injuries would not occur. He diligently mapped out new martial arts movements that utilized the body's innate way of acting and reacting. He used the body's own efficiency and wisdom to determine his innovative approach and techniques. He tested each theory and each movement in his own therapy, noting what strengthened his body and what weakened it. And it worked. Kwang Do healed his own body. Choi Kwang Do was born, and with it, he was reborn. From 1978 to 1987, Kwang Do restored his body while simultaneously creating a new martial arts system, Choi Kwang Do, which translates as the art or method of Kwang Choi. Choi Kwang Do is unique as a martial art form in that it is based on scientific principles and it promotes optimum health and fitness in addition to self-defense. It is easy to learn because of its natural, enjoyable movements that maximize the body's flexibility and strength. It incorporates the knowledge of human anatomy, physiology, which is the study of the functioning of living organisms, psychology, the study of the mind, kinesiology, the branch of physiology that studies the mechanics and anatomy of the human body in relation to movement, neurophysiology, the branch of neuroscience that studies the physiology of the human nervous system, and biomechanics, the science of human movement. Choi Kwang Do is not designed for competition and does not have the intensity of sports training. It promotes non-violent resolutions to conflict. The people who train in Choi Kwang Do are typically adults who want to learn real-life, practical self-defense skills, as well as enjoy exercise and stay healthy. It is not about winning trophies for them.
By day, she kicks butt and takes names walking a beat. By night...
Good evening. From Headline News in Atlanta, I'm Lynn Russell.
She's the primetime face of CNN Headline News. Among those passions, a black belt in Choi Kwang Do.
In the classroom, a lot of our male population, they're actually pretty frightened of her.
She says her body is her best weapon.
I think that it is the only defensive instrument, the only weapon that somebody can't take away from you and use against you.
Not that anyone would cross her anyway. After work, she often volunteers as a bodyguard and private eye. And she's probably America's only tattooed newswoman.
The motto is Pilsung, which means certain victory in Korean. So I had it permanently emblazoned on my arm.
Dentro del proceso, llega a Puerto Rico y él entiende de que mi persona puede ser uno de los maestros en ayudar a promover esto alrededor del mundo junto con el Gran Máster. Y entonces inmediatamente me monté en un avión, fui, conocí al Gran Máster, porque ya estaba sufriendo personalmente los problemas que tiene todo artista marcial, que un artista marcial que lleva 10, 15, 20 años practicando de alta intensidad, en la forma en cómo está diseñado una parte del mundo. el gran Master Choi mañana va a ser reconocido en el Senado de la República. Y entonces...